Thank you so much for joining me as GameEdged. I'm super excited to be able to sit down with the marketing director of Freedom Games, which is a publisher for this fine game called Retreat to Enen. And yes, it looks absolutely amazing. It's a different spin on a survival game, and I'm so pleased you guys are going to enjoy this. I really do, because I really have been excited and been waiting for this one for almost a year now. So super stoked. It's going to be coming out hopefully sometime this year. They don't have an exact date currently, so you'll have to keep it on your wish list. Make sure to put a link in the description down below. And if you want to test out the demo, which I'll be able to showcase before it's released on the Steam Fest, again, I'll put a link in the description field there, and keep your eye on it. It will be released. I'm super excited again. And if you guys are enjoying this, and of course enjoying seeing brand new games before the release, and also be able to have conversations with people involved in the game, please take time, hit the like button. If you're brand new, please go and subscribe. You guys are absolutely awesome.
So yeah, I am the director of marketing at Freedom Games. So I have spent a fair amount of time with the game, but be forewarned that there might be some questions you have that I do not have the answers to because I'm not the developer. Um, we are super excited about this game, Retreat to Enen. It is a survival crafting game with kind of a unique bent when compared to similar games in the space where it's not about slashing and burning and kind of bending nature to your will like a lot of survival crafting games are. Nothing against games that do that. I mean, it's really fun in Rust to just like completely terraform the area you're at, right? But Retreat to Enden kind of takes a different approach to the survival crafting experience where you're playing as someone who lives what is effectively a post-scarcity society after like a major global conflict. So I think throughout the game you'll explore a little bit about what that conflict was. I don't want to spoil too much of it here, but the idea being that humanity got a little bit too big for its britches. Lots of ecological disaster, a lot of conflict, and you are kind of on your trial in that like post-war society and learning a lot about how the new society has come back together with a greater appreciation for nature, a greater appreciation for the human spirit in general. And so it's about kind of learning how to survive alongside nature instead of, dominate nature.
For centuries, humanity had poisoned Earth's environment and destroyed nearly all their life-giving natural resources. Famine, disease, and war had become all the world knew. Societies crumbled, cities washed away, and chaos reigned. But nature is resilient. Those that survived had inherited a wisdom and knowledge that had been lost so long ago. We are not separate from our world. We are connected to it. Balance was restored to Earth's environment, and those remaining few built a new society dedicated to the preservation of our world. Now, as a rite of passage, each member of this society must live alone in the wild until they prove they are connected enough to the land to thrive. This is your time to carry your wisdom into these majestic lands and survive.
Quite far into the future.
Are you, here's always a question I'm going to ask, because a lot of my community will ask that, and I've brought up with the Green Hell crew and many of them, and they've actually started a little later than I thought on it, but the Forest and other games like that always bring in building aspects, which is something that I think that a lot of dev teams forget about, that if you want to extend your lifespan of the game, the actual building aspects of the game, a lot of people go out there just to go out there to build something different. Are you guys we working on that in the future? Is that something you're looking at planning, or?
When you say expanding building, how do you mean?
Like always creating more and more textures, more stuff. You can create more different shapes, more different things. That's what I think most people are looking for. And a lot of the games, at least my community, definitely we are builder craziness, I guess we could say. We always like to build something different, having as much ability to do so in an environment. And yeah, I always wonder if that's something that you guys are looking at maybe in the future, or.
Yeah, so we definitely have a robust amount of like structures and things you can build in the game for sure. And as the game is going to be releasing into early access. And so the idea being that the game will be releasing into single player early access and then multiplayer on PC and consoles later in the year or later the following year. And so that is where that early access period is where we're really going to be like really scaling up the building. But I will cheat ahead a little bit and show you like just in the demo version of the game, these are all of the different like recipes for buildings.
Wow.
And like different things that you can build and like tie together and turn into different like bases or whatnot.
Cool.
So like it is a big focus for the game out of the gate, and I'm sure that they'll only continue to expand out kind of the ways that you can build.
That's really cool because the majority of people forget about that. I think most developers now are starting to strive towards that. They start seeing it that it's a big thing. Some games were just they let it go, and it's a lot of the building community is sitting back going, but we build a lot. So I have a community here that doesn't stop building.
Right.
And they build majestic, beautiful things. You're like, Jesus. So it's really nice. But this game looks absolutely stunning, even through Discord here. It's pretty darn amazing.
Yeah, we're really happy with how, and this is, I mean, I'm playing on an ultra wide, so we have ultra wide support coming out, just out of the box in the demo.
Very cool.
Very happy with the design. This is one, one designer. This is a one person kind of gig here. Definitely, it's had some like contract help throughout, but the vast majority of the environments are all done by Justin, the developer. He's even done the music. So,
wow,
it is a very ambitious project, mostly done by one fella.
Very amazing. So so in other words, for the YouTubers who are actually going to play this game, they don't have to worry about music or anything. It's not going to be copyright infringement or anything.
No, it's all done. It's all done by the Justin actually like kind of pivoted off his previous gig as a composer for video games and TV shows and music to do game design.
Oh, that's amazing.
So the music is also quite good. So we're going through the tutorial a little bit here. So there's it's saying that we need to craft our basic shelter. So we need 6 pieces of wood, 4 rocks, and 2 dead plant fibers.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna get all that and look for the plant fiber, which is something I'm not terribly good at spotting in the environment.
It's very small, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's a struggle there. And man, I'm really impressed with this is one guy. I mean, that's what I like. A lot of games I'm seeing now coming out are like one developer, but working extremely hard. And it's what's amazing is because I think there's a passion in there for those. It's not a huge amount, but you can see already in the start. This is an amazing looking game already.
Yeah, there's something special to be said for people that people who create projects and kind of own so much of the project that they're able to just kind of like enact their will onto the project, right? For better or worse, right? Like at the end of the day, like you're getting something that is like the truest vision of what this person truly wanted, right?
Absolutely.
I think it's an interesting kind of combination of like music. I don't know how much like music you listen to, but there's a very popular band called Tame Impala.
I've never heard of them.
They're very pop. They're like psychedelic, but pop rock music. But they're probably one of the bigger rock bands in the world right now. And the dude is just a guy who just like sits in a studio and plays every single instrument, records every single piece. Like it's just him in the studio for a year, and then he gets his backing band to go out with. But like, and when it comes to like the albums he creates, it is his vision. He is the one that makes every piece of it. And there's something to be said for like the amount of like attention to detail that happens when you're able to do that.
Absolutely.
All right, so we crafted our first little basic shelter here, and we're gonna go try to find some food. I don't think I can eat flowers. I haven't tried to eat flowers yet.
Is there predators in the game at all? Do we have to worry about or?
Not at the moment. I know that there is hunting. And there is kind of like this idea of like sustainable like stalking of prey. But like combat is definitely not a major aspect in the game.
Okay. There's really resources trying to stay alive and keep yourself going.
Right. Yeah, and it's also, and we'll show you in a little bit in the tutorial a very good example. But like, it's really meant to be kind of a different gaming experience in that it's not meant to be high stress. It's meant to be kind of like an escape in a lot of ways.
Mm-hmm.
So when we find something to eat, when I find some fruit on the ground here, we'll showcase kind of our here we go.
That's good. It's not too easy. It's good.
Yeah, there we go.
Find meditation point.
So with this kind of, I wouldn't like theoretically like advanced society here who has, created this like rite of passage in the kind of the ashes of the previous human civilization. They really prioritize the idea of, communing with nature and like being aware of your surroundings. And so like a big part of the game is meditating, both in game and literally. Um, so one of the things that you need to do, if you look in the bottom right of the screen, you have your different kind of um, important survival fields. So you have your health, your hunger, your thirst, and that lotus petal is your spirits, which you have to replenish by meditating.
Oh, very cool. So they're taking an Aboriginal point of view of this.
I can't speak to that specifically, but I do know that like it is definitely focused in the idea of like being in tune with nature.
Yeah, that's cool.
And this is literally like if you wanted to follow along with this and meditate yourself while playing the game, this is supporting that.
Very, very cool game. I mean, it's absolutely stunning. The sounds are immaculate. That's another thing I don't think we see enough of. They usually will use 10 sounds or certain sounds that just don't work, and everything sounds good when you're walking. It sounds good. It looks beautiful.
Right.
The sounds are not too many birds or chirping behind you. It's just enough. That's really
Right.
amazing. Yeah.
And so as you can see in the bottom right, my spirit meter has restored, and I can leave.
Craft fire pit.
And so yeah, I think that goes back to what you're saying. Like, I think the sound in this game is extremely lovingly crafted by Justin, considering his experience in sound design. And I think he realizes that that's like a big part of what creates like the experience he wants to provide.
Very
And
good.
if you see on the UI here in the pop-up, there's different meditations to complete. These are kind of your reasons to progress in the game in a lot of ways, is going and finding these places to meditate at and kind of understand. That is your rite of passage here, which is understanding what humanity did in the past, what they did in these areas, what they needed to do to progress, like what lessons we've learned, like building the story as you're like trying harder and harder to survive
Very cool.
in
And
these different areas.
those are 3 different areas currently. Is he expanding more than that, or
Correct.
is he staying with 3 for launch?
For launch, specifically for early access launch, and most likely for 1.0 launch, it will be those 3 biomes.
Okay. Which are quite big, I guess, from the look of this one. Size of this one.
Relatively large, yes. All right, so we need some more fire and some stone for that fire pit. We're gonna build this fire pit really fast, and then I will showcase one of the other biomes really fast, and I will have to beg your forgiveness if it doesn't work, because I don't think we've QA tested the other biomes yet in this demo, but I'm gonna give it to you anyway.
Oh, good shot.
With the disclaimer that they may or may not load appropriately.
Absolutely. And the other thing I always will bring up to my community, and a lot of people just make sure they're aware that the wish listing is extremely important. It helps out developers in so many
Yes.
ways. It gives you
Absolutely.
guys more of a chance to promote your game, of course, and that's so important. So if you're out there, guys, don't forget to wish list if you like it. Links in the description.
Absolutely. Yeah, they're definitely the most important things for us as a developer, because it's even with this game launching on consoles in the future, the amount of data and support that Steam provides is bar none to any other platform, and so being able to make sure that we're making a good trajectory in wish lists is what helps us be able to continue to develop the game, knowing there's an audience out there, right? Like socials and Discord follows are amazing and great, and wish lists are just another way to make sure that we know, like, hey, people are out there, they're excited about the game, they're going to be playing it in the future. So that's really important for us, and it lets us know that there's going to be a certain amount of people available to play the game on day one that are going to be excited and give us feedback and help continue to make it as good as possible.
Absolutely. There's also a Discord too. We'll put a link in the description field for that too. You guys can go in there and check it out. Pretty darn amazing. But I also like that you walk through the foliage and it looked like foliage was bending when you're walking past.
Oh,
Small
yeah.
little yeah.
So there's
There's crystals there too. Yeah, there's crystals too. What the hell's that for?
we won't talk about that yet.
Okay.
We won't spoil that yet. There's lots of cool recipes out there.
Very nice.
I am trying to find my last couple rocks here to finish that fire pit. I'm finding clay, but I'm not finding rocks.
The clay is good too. That means you can do some
Yeah.
pots and stuff. We won't spoil that either, right?
No, we got a nice little iguana model there that I like.
Very nice. It's very, very cool. I like the shadowing and everything. It's not too much. Very cool.
Thank you.
I've not seen that in a
Yeah,
long time.
I think it's really impressive what modern engines are able to have people achieve. With relatively like I mean, because I think 5 years ago you really could have only crafted an environment like this with a relatively large environmental design team, right?
Absolutely,
And
yeah.
the ability to just like scale up with modern engines is just really, really awesome. All right, do we have enough for a fire pit? We do. Who cares? It's not at our shelter. We're just gonna put it down. And then, as normal, you can light the fire and then add things to cook. We don't have anything to cook right now, but sleeping by the fire is also another thing that obviously keeps our health up. And so this area is kind of a rainforest, oceany. I think of it as like the Pacific Northwest coast if it was like 30 degrees warmer at all times, or like maybe Hawaii, kind of sort of.
Yeah, I guess Hawaii feel.
Got like an island feel. And then I'm gonna try to find. Oh, is this a biome? Did we get really lucky with our transport? No, we did not. This is a starter. So the demo has a couple of those little geodesic domes that'll translate you to the other biomes.
The biomes. And can you swim in that game right now, currently, or? Oh, it looks nice. Yeah, it looks nice too. That's one thing that's very hard to do.
Yeah, I mean, I was oh god, what game was it that I was playing the other day, and I was like really enjoying it, and then I like jumped in the water and I just died immediately, and I'm like, oh, okay, everything else about this game is amazing, but I just couldn't. Just swimming was just not something they could do. Okay, cool.
It's very hard for developers to create. This is why. How long has it been working on this? Is it like a couple of years or?
A couple of years, yeah. I would say it's been a couple years in development. Yeah, Justin works very, very hard on the game.
I have a couple of developers I know are like that, and it's stunning to watch because it's beautiful to watch the evolution of it. So it's coming out in early access, so that means when you buy the game, you get to see the evolution of the game too, which is fun to see. This where you start like this.
It helps steer development also. I think that's one of the most important parts of this for early access for us, because we really love the game and the design and kind of the esoteric, for lack of a better word, like idea behind the game, where it's not crash and burn, or not crash and burn, it's not like churn and burn, destroy the environment, build up your highly like optimized factory or whatever, right? It's more of a be in tune with the environment situation. And so we want to make sure that that's still going to be something that's engaging for people and they enjoy the other aspects of the game a lot as well. You can also see some other ruins here. And so like making sure that we get a lot of that feedback from fans is going to be really important, so that we can make sure that the game is steered in a direction that everyone's able to enjoy, right?
Exactly. As long as the developer also has a vision for his game, which is beautiful if they watch, sometimes the development gets steered away from the Steam, especially Steam forums, which can tarnish some games. I've seen games go out in a blaze of glory because of those Steam forums.
Right.
But and it's just because, unfortunately, majority of the gamers, if they go in Discord, have a little more of a voice, and if he has a vision, he's not going to allow, things that are going to tarnish the game or his vision, which is great. It looks great, this thing. Oh. Even the animals are running properly. It looks really nice. Jeez, I'm impressed. Been just so disappointed in the last few years of games. Sometimes you come out. There's only been a couple I found that really popped. This one looks really good.
Thank you.
Yeah, very, very nice.
I'm sorry, I'm struggling in this like
finding the area.
Designed area, because it's so big. I forget where I'm at each time.
It's a lot bigger than I thought it would be. This is like Green Hell big. It's nice. It's a nice comment because Green Hell is an amazing game.
I've actually not played that game. It sounds great though.
Yeah, it's a heck of a torturous test, but looks very, very nice.
Oh man, I really want to show you one of the other biomes, but I cannot find the biome transporters. I don't know where they spawned in at here. I mean, it is kind of the idea, right? Even in this, where it's not supposed to be something that you find immediately. So, yep, here we go. Let's see. I thought it was over here.
Straight north.
Oh, okay. Well, all right. So in the demo, we do not have this working quite yet. So, but you can see kind of the the geodesic dome does a good idea of kind of showing you what the biome looks like. So this is like a showcase of the
Future.
snow, more alpine area that you'd be at
Very nice.
there. So I guess we disabled this for the demo, which actually probably makes sense considering it hasn't been fully QA'd.
Yeah, no, it's good. You guys are going to be on
Yeah.
Next Fest, you said too, right? Just going on to Next
We are
Fest.
going to be in Next Fest, so this demo will be free to play in Next Fest. So that's a great time to check it out. But yeah, so we have, there's lots of different upgrades and base things to do. I mean, it's a very modern kind of look and feel and style. So there's lots of really, really cool additional, survival mainstays that you can do in terms of making sure that you've crafted a sustainable camp for yourself. There is hunting, so there isn't like, even though I've noted that like combat isn't a major focus in the game, there is, you need to stalk deer and animals to survive. There's rabbit traps, there's things of that nature. So if you want to, it is not just walking around and exploring nature. There is some engaging, combat-like gameplay involved in this game as well. So we're super excited to get it in people's hands and give them a shot. And another thing that I love about this game is when the rain starts going, that my FPS doesn't drop to 20 like it does in Elden Ring. I understand why Elden Ring was a very difficult to port game to PCs.
But this is, it's quite impressive too, the rain too. It's another thing that's tough to do. All these little things you don't think about it, but developers struggle to get this out. So this is amazing to see that the game's actually already in a demo state, which is not a finished product, but it's still stable in at least this area here, which is a lot of movement. Trees are moving, things are happening. That's very nice.
Right. Well, we are planning to release it into early access this year. So I think we have a little more information about that coming up later this year. I don't think we have a release date ready to announce around the summer showcase. But if we do, we'll let you know through the PR.
No, I'm definitely excited about this. So that was an amazing time. Again, thank you so much to the marketing director for spending time at Freedom Games, for, of course, giving us the time to learn a little more about the game. The next video will be about this game and actually testing it out, kicking the tires. And again, if you guys want to put your wish list, I'll put a link in the description down below. Like I mentioned inside the conversation, it helps indie devs. And this is a solo dev working his butt off, and actually, well, a lot of love put into this one. As you can see, the game looks great. This is a demo. Don't forget, this is not the release version, and it already looks spectacular. And there's so much to offer, and I'm curious to see how the gameplay is going to run. So yeah, if guys and girls join us, show some love, hitting the like button. If you're brand new, please go and subscribe and hit the notification bell. Be notified for all cool videos popping up. Thank you guys. You guys are the best. This is GameEdged. I'll catch you guys on the flip side.